Here, so welcome everyone. More people may come, but at least we should get started. So I'm so excited to be able to teach with Florence today. This is a real joy. And she's gonna fill in all the holes that I can't take care of. And we're also glad to have Dr. Daniel Hartness.
Hello.
Welcome.
Greetings.
Whoever has the little ones, I wonder if you could mute until you're ready to talk. And then we want to let the little ones make all the noise they want to where they are.
Bonnie, I think you can mute there for everyone. You can mute everyone if you're the moderator.
Okay. No, we just looked at that, didn't we? Mute all. Okay. I'm going to do that just to. I'm just going to. Did that work? Okay, there we are. So I'll do that for now, just while we get things started, because I want you to enjoy something that's really special that I found. All I have to do is find it. Oh dear, it's not on here. Okay. So I'm going to share that. But I want to just do something special with you first, because I know that if I get into it, I'm going to have trouble. So let me do this. This is who I want to be when I get older. Let me see if I can get it going. There she is. Okay. Uh-oh, sorry. Did you hear that? Were you able to hear that? One go back. No? I can't find you again. Where are you? Unmute all. Oh, I've lost my screen. There it is. Did you hear that?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, good. Oh, good. I was afraid that I had cut you off, but you heard it. Okay, that's great. Yeah, now I'm having trouble getting back to the page that I was on, where you all are. Oh dear. Sorry. I'm trying to close her out there. Okay. Okay, so I'll go back to where am I? How do I get back? Someone help me. I need someone with me when I do this. Okay.
Trying to get back to the PowerPoint?
Yeah, I'm trying to get back to the shared screen.
All right, let me see if my son.
Okay, here, there, okay. I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. I wasn't sure. I had trouble getting from that link in the middle of this presentation, so I wanted to make sure that I could show it. But you did hear it. Did you hear it? Yes. Okay, yes. That's great. I'm going to share my screen, and we'll go back to the beginning of the PowerPoint. Oh no, we'll go back. Boy, everything's going wrong today. So we're going to talk, Roseanne's been talking to us about the stages of the lifespan. And she did the children because that's what she loves. And she's left the adult years and the senior years to me because I am a senior, a little bit of an expert on being a senior, and that's what I work with in the nursing home. But let's just quickly have a little overview again of what Roseanne talked to us about. So this is Erik Erikson's 8 stages of development. This is his theory, built on the Freud's theory. So in infancy, when you're a child, you're a little one, you're learning how to trust. Will my mother feed me? Will she take care of me? Will she come back when she goes away? And if I accomplish that, and I learn to trust, then I can go forward with hope. In early childhood, we're learning autonomy versus shame and doubt. So as I accomplish important things like being able to dress myself or go to the toilet, or then I feel like I'm an individual and I'm taking my place in the world. And if I don't accomplish that, then I doubt myself, and I'm self-consciousness. And the question is it okay to be me in this world? And so you come out with a stronger will if you have accomplished that. And in preschool, we're learning how to read and write and get along with each other and make friends and feel like you're an important part of the class. And if you accomplish that, you accomplish purpose. And if you don't, then you have guilt, you feel out of place, you feel like you're not doing what everyone else is doing, and why not? And in the school age, you're starting to really learn important things and try and find out what you want to do with your life, and making friends that are friends for life. You're in sports, you're accomplishing things in sports, and the question is, can I make it in this world of people and things? And so the task is competency. We learn competency. And if we don't feel competent, then we feel inferior. So we move up into the adolescent years, and we're looking for our identity. We're trying to find out who we are and who we want to be, who we can be. And Erikson says the task here is fidelity. The virtue that you'll come away with is fidelity, learning how to be true to your friends and your partners. And so you may come into touch with your identity, or you may have role confusion. You may have questions about who you are and who you want to be. And if those problems aren't resolved early in life, if those stages aren't accomplished, it doesn't stop you from going on to the next one, but it leaves leftovers that when you're older, problems will come back. So these are the people that you're going to find in your counseling office. These are the people that have, they've had, maybe their parents didn't model a good relationship or a loving couple. Maybe they didn't model hard work and initiative for you, or maybe they worked too much. Maybe they were workaholics, and so you think that that's the way to have a happy life, but there's consequences later on. I love what Daniel's grandfather gave him as a legacy. Daniel often tells us in his stories that his grandfather would always have a short-term goal and a long-term goal. When he was looking for a job, he would do something that he could do now and get paid for now, but he would also have something, a longer-term plan that would profit him in the longer term. And what an influence that was on Daniel as he learned how to be a man and to function in the work world. If you were young and you didn't have, there's a waiting room. There's a waiting room. Admit. Okay, sorry about that. Do come in. I definitely should have somebody along with me when I do this. Oh gosh. So if we're young and we didn't accomplish the attachment tasks, we may have trouble attaching to somebody as when we're older, if the attachment with our parents was erratic or unstable, we may not be able to feel like we trust it. And so we still have developmental work that we have to do. It's still ongoing, and that's the good news. The good news is that people can do that work later in life, and that's what we'll do as counselors. We'll help them identify and then work with those issues to make their lives more solid and rewarding. I wrote down here that a lot of people are afraid of counseling. But are you afraid to go and have your car repaired? Would you wait to go and get your car repaired? If you needed it done, you would just go and do it. So we need to help people understand that counseling is just as important as that, and it really does help you have a better, fuller life. So these are the stages that we're going to work with today, and Florence is going to help me. The first one is from, well, there's, welcome. I think I've left my bottom screen here. I'm gonna mute everybody again. There. Okay, is that okay? So this is from just about the time that you're getting out of high school and starting to develop your relationships. Maybe you're going on to university. Maybe you're going out and getting a job. Maybe you're just starting a home. So you're developing intimacy. You're learning the task of intimacy. And if you accomplish those things, if you find someone that you really love, really belong with, or you have good friends and good family, then you have that sense of intimacy. But if you don't, there can be a time of great isolation and loneliness. And so the task of that stage is to establish intimacy and relationships with others. So there are other ways. If you find yourself single, some people, there's a gift of singleness, and some people are very happy being single. So they're not feeling isolated. But even if you're not having found the perfect person yet, the community, especially the community of your church and your the friends that you develop can be family as well, and they can fill that need for intimacy and fellowship. And the next age group, 30 to 64, is generativity versus stagnation. So here you're building your career. This is probably where you would have a house and you would have your family. Maybe at this age you'd also be starting to look after your parents. Your parents are getting older and may have some health issues. So in Canada we call that the sandwich generation, where you're looking after your own children and you're looking after your parents. And then some parents, grandparents, are looking after their grandchildren because either their children are ill or their children are working. And so families become lots of different forms of what is family. So we want to contribute to society. We want our life to make a difference. We want to leave behind a legacy, and we want to be part of a family and belong. So those are the tasks that you're developing there. And the next one, this is the age that I'm in, from 65 on. Erikson called this old age, but we don't feel old at this age in Canada because I think we have to keep working for so long, so we have to keep healthy. But generally, this is the age when people might retire. If you had a little bit of money, you might be able to travel. You might be able to just spend your time volunteering. Often people do find it's very difficult to live on just the amount of money they've saved up or the old age pension. So it's a time when you have to think about, what else you can do with your life. So a lot of people go back part-time, and sometimes they do that just because they enjoy it. Sometimes they just want something meaningful to do with their time. So that's me. I do chaplaincy 2 mornings a week. I know, Kayfish, you go to the hospital and visit. And not that you're nowhere near my age, but you're my children's age. But so half a day, twice a week. And then in between that, I do counseling, maybe 1 or 2 people a day. So it's nice to keep working. It's good for us to be able to keep working. So in this age group, we assess and make sense of our life and the meaning of our contributions. We look back and we see, do I have any regrets? Do I need to do some things differently with the rest of my life? One of the things that I did was coming to you. I'm so grateful that at this age in my life, the Lord allowed me to be able to come and visit in Zambia and be part of this teaching. It's been such a wonderful blessing. So I want you to know that you are an answer to prayer for me, and being able to be here with you today is very special. So we had just recently a wedding. A second. Trust and Carol, and they gave me permission to use their picture. So they're just starting out in their lives, and they probably have lots of wonderful hopes and dreams. They've found each other, and maybe they will start a family soon. We hope so. And I'm sure they have a place that they're calling home and setting up their life together. And it's so wonderful to be able to be part of that and to see their shining faces and how grateful we are to use that. So now, Florence, I'm going to ask you to unmute because I want you to teach us about the Zambian traditions that are different than the Canadian ones around meeting each other. And I'm trying to unmute you. Can you unmute yourself, Florence? There. Okay. So, Florence, how do young people usually meet each other in Zambia?
Yeah, in Zambia, a young man, maybe at the college or university, if they learn with the ladies, they can find a girl of their choice. After they have found a girl, then they date. After dating for some time, the girl or the boy will introduce the friend to their parents.
So up till now, the parents don't know that they're actually in love with each other. They kind of do it secretly?
After having agreed that they would like to marry, then they will inform the parents.
Okay.
Then the girl will inform her parents as well. And take the boy to her parents. When they go there, the boy will be accompanied by 1 or 2 relatives to go and break the news to the girl's family. And it is at this stage that the parents to the girl will demand a dowry, which we call lobola.
Lobola.
Yes.
Lobola.
Lobola, or dowry in English. Yes. And then, after having agreed, then the boy must pay, maybe fully or halfway. Then the marriage processions can take place. So now it will depend if they do it traditionally. Traditionally, the man's side will go on the decided date and get the girl. Normally, they do it at night. They go and get the girl at night.
It's good if she knows it's coming.
Yes, they make those preparations and they go.
Sounds like fun.
Get the girl at night, bring the girl to the boy's place, and then there they are going to have the celebrations up to the following day.
Mhm.
Then they prepare food for people to eat. That is how they do it traditionally. And after a week or two, the girl will go back to her home, just as a way of paying a courtesy
Mhm.
for a day or two, and then go back to her home, to her new home.
Mhm. That's
But
special.
there's another way which others do it, like what Trust and Carol did.
Mhm.
They wed in the church. They make all the necessary arrangements, and then that is all. They go
Mhm.
and live together.
Mhm.
Yes.
And it's a church wedding.
Yeah, church wedding, yes.
Yeah. Do many
Mm.
people have like just government weddings, or is it usually a church wedding?
Not many as such, but people do it according to how they can afford.
Mhm.
Sometimes, instead of having a white wedding like what Carol and Trust did,
Mhm.
they'll just go for a marriage blessing at
Mhm.
church. The pastor will pray for them. After having prayed for them, then they go to their home.
Mhm.
As long as both parents have witnessed the prayers for their children.
Mhm. Oh, that's
Mm.
wonderful. Very special. And then do
So,
children usually happen very shortly after, or do they wait a while to have children, or?
hello? Can you come back?
Do they have children right away, or do they have children after a while?
They can have their children after a while, but it depends on the couple, how they can agree. Others say maybe we learn to know each other, but normally, immediately after my wedding, they would like to have some children. Because in our tradition, if you don't have some children, both parents start worrying to say, oh, is there anything wrong with our girl or with our boy?
Mhm.
Because they believe that, when they marry, they should have children immediately.
Mhm. So children are very important to the Zambian family, for
Yeah, they are
sure.
very important. They are very important to them.
Yeah, we're having a change in a trend in the Western countries where kids wait far longer to get married, put off their children until much later, sometimes into their 40s. And then they find that it's difficult to run after little children at that age.
Mm.
But putting their careers first, or sometimes it's because financially it's very difficult to live on one wage here. The houses are so outrageously, ridiculously priced. And so people have to, two people have to work to keep the family going. So it's very hard for someone to stop work to have a baby or to stay home and look after children. So it's a big turmoil for young people to know what's the priority that they want to live by. So something that people wrestle with here for sure. So the families stay involved and they support the young newlyweds? Do they?
Yes, they do. They do support, especially the man's family. Others, they would like even to help him to pay the dowry. But now, when it comes to preparation for food and other things, they come in and help the boy.
Yeah,
They
we do
give
that
him
here too. We always send the kids home with food.
yeah, they have to give him some gifts for him to start
Yeah.
a living.
Yeah.
But initially, they would say, don't marry before you can have a blanket or a home.
Oh, well, that's a
Because
good,
one has to
that's
have a
wise.
home.
Very
Yeah, they
wise.
have to have a home where to take the wife or a blanket, because no one can marry without a blanket.
No,
Because they are going
it would be
to
cold.
stay, to live on their own. They leave the parents.
You have to at least have a blanket. What was the other thing? Blanket and
Some pots, some plates.
mhm.
Yes, and
A
a
place to put the
home.
blanket.
Yes, a home to live.
That's wonderful.
Mm.
I like what Daniel said one time, any woman can get married, but not every woman can be a wife. And I think that's true for a husband and for a parent as well. It doesn't always come naturally to be a partner, but it's a lifelong journey, isn't it? We have to work at being the partner that our partner needs, and then hopefully they will be ours as well. So we're almost run out of time. It's just warning me, so come right back in again. I'll let everybody back in. So it's gonna boot us. And then in 10 minutes, this meeting will end in 10 minutes. So it'll probably cut me off in the middle of talking.
Okay.
So in our getting together as families, we're learning how to be in relationship. We're learning how to handle disappointments. We're learning how to put others first, putting our partner first, our children first, our elderly parents first. We're learning communication, conflict resolution, and just how to have rich, full lives. So at some people at this point, when they're first starting out and they're busy working and having kids, they'll move away from their faith because they're busy and don't want to make it a priority. But sometimes it will become a time of richer faith, and people will move towards God and use the strength that brings to them. And so as older people, we need to mentor these young people as they develop through these stages. And especially if they didn't have the kind of parents that would give them those skills. So be a mentor and be we don't have any grandchildren yet, so we are grandparents to all the kids that we meet. So we mentor the young people and borrow their children. So we're gonna skip a little bit. I'm going to move to the next slide if I can do that. Oh, this is what we just talked about. And we did this too, actually jumped ahead. When Erikson and his wife got into their 80s, they realized that they needed to make another stage because it didn't all just encompass the kind of retirement that just 1 second. Hi, welcome. So don't forget, if it bumps you, could just come right back in again. So we're not bumped yet. So they decided that they would add a 9th stage. And it's life transition and life completion. Joan Erikson, his wife, was writing this time. 1 second. And she published this after Erikson had passed away. But he said the last stage in Erikson's original conceptualization, old age, usually thought of as beginning at age 65 and ending with death. But during this stage, the individual struggles with integrity versus despair, a time when many engage in a life review to consider the worth of their experience. And out of this life review, the elder person arrives at either a sense of integrity that may lead to wisdom or to despair. But they discovered that there was a stage called Gerotranscendence. I love this. Sorry. I love this. The final stage is a natural process moving towards maturation and wisdom. The Gerotranscendent individual experiences a new feeling of cosmic communion with the spirit of the universe, our God, a redefinition of time, space, life, and earth, and a redefinition of self. So it actually can become quite a rich and wonderful time. This is Erikson, actually, sitting in his rocking chair. Just growing older doesn't mean that we'll become automatically gerotranscendent. Although aging does bring times to wrestle with existential questions about death and the meaning of life. So how does one become gerotranscendent? The process is mostly stimulated by hardships, challenges, transitions, and losses of living, combined with a continual reflection about one's life, the life of others, and our universal life. So it's a wonderful thing that God has planted inside of us, that all these difficulties that we've encountered over a lifetime actually can make us richer. And so a fellow that I've lost his name. There he is. His name is too small for me to read. Anyway, it's on your paper when you get it later. And he wrote, level of self, a decreased obsession with one's body, a decreased interest in material things, a decrease in self-centeredness, an increased desire to understand oneself, an increased desire for inner peace and meditation, an increased need for solitude. And on the level of personal and social relationships, a decreased desire for prestige, a decreased desire for superfluous, superficial social interaction, a decreased interest in conforming to social rules, an increased concern for others, an increased need for solitude or the company of only a few special friends, an increased selectivity in the choice of social and other activities, an increased spontaneity that moves beyond social norms, an increase in tolerance and broad-mindedness, an increased sense of life's ambiguity, and at the cosmic level, a decreased distinction between the past and the present, a decreased fear of death, an increased affinity with and interest in past and future generations, an increased acceptance of the mysteries of human life, an increased joy over small and insignificant things, and an increased appreciation of nature, an increased feeling of communion with their concept of God. Isn't that beautiful? Do you find that in your culture, Florence? Do you find that the older people have a time when they have a kind of a peace about them and come to terms with life in a special way that the younger people running around and in the busyness of life don't know? Do you find that in your elders? I think you're still muted, Florence. Huh. Oh, my note paper to go. Can you unmute yourself, Florence? So this is where I had that wonderful lady singing. I don't know if I can do it again. I'll wait till the end because I'm afraid I won't get back here again like I did the last time. So in your culture, Florence, what place do older people take? Do you find that they're revered and appreciated for their wisdom, or do you find that they're kind of put aside and not counted as very important?
In our society, old people, if they are well looked, they find it easy to cope up, though they have got some challenges in life. Yeah, they have got these. Some others don't have a peace of mind because they think, how do I live? Especially those who have no people to look after them.
No
so
family.
They struggle for their lives.
Yeah.
It's not like the way you are in Canada, whereby they have got those homes where they live.
Mm-hmm.
But in Zambia, you find that most elderly people, when they are aging, they have to fend for themselves. Now, because of that, they feel as if they are not part of life, as if life is not enjoyable. It's no longer enjoyable to them. Yes. But those who have got some people to look after them, they feel comfortable, and they even look a little bit younger because of the
when someone's looking after them. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, sure.
I remember one lady when I was there told me that in the rainy season she had to huddle in a corner of her house because the rain was leaking through the roof, and it was the only dry spot in the house was in the corner. and how
Mhm.
hard that was for her to live that way. And she was trying to raise 3 children, and she didn't have any, she just had to get any small job she could find.
Mm.
So for her, being a senior wasn't pleasant at all.
Mm.
That's why the church is so important as our community, to be able to come in and help people when they're needy.
Definitely.
Yeah.